Yo, everybody, welcome to the Green Room. Today we're talking to Shorn, Biscette, seasoned drummer. You might know him as the singing drummer with the Accent Band on the Lucian Musicians Instagram. He'll be telling us a little bit about that over the course of the podcast. He's also a vocalist and a great guy overall. I enjoyed talking to him, and I think you'll enjoy listening into the conversation that we had. Remember, the Green Room is open to all Caribbean instrumentalists, even those who don't live in the Caribbean. So, if you're interested in talking to us, shoot us an email at lucianmusicians@gmail.com. Now, let's get into music. Yeah, a lot of
Yes,
people.
so tell me.
Yeah, a lot of people on
Mhm.
the platform know you as the guy who was in the video singing and playing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
With the dancing bass man. Yo, so
Dancing bassman.
who was the bass man in that video, man?
The bassman was a guy called McNeil from St. Lucia.
Yeah,
He presently has a band called Accent, I believe. Yeah,
accent. And at,
yeah,
at
in
the
St.
time
Lucia.
in that video, what band you were playing with there?
The band was called Accent. We were. I was the drummer in that band that time. The drummer and lead vocalist in that band at that time.
All right, all right. And how long were
Yeah.
you with them?
I think I did. I spent like 3 years, I would say
All right.
3 years. Despite a few members changed within the years. It was my first band I went on ships with as well. Um, Lots of members changed throughout each time, So yeah, but I was the drummer in that band.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first questions I have for you there is like, how did you start? Like, how did you get into music and get into music for the first time?
Well, I think just like everybody, most people I know of, and yeah, but I started in church, obviously in church. One day the drummer didn't show up for a church service, and one of the guys in the band at church was like, "Sean, get the sticks and go on the drums." With me, never played in church. I never played in church. I never. One thing about me, I did. I sat by the drummer every Sunday, every Sunday evening, every Monday, every Wednesday. I sat by the drummer every day and I just watched. I watched everything he did. And because of the passion and me always like the drums, I think that guy literally saw the potential in me
Right.
to even trust me with the sticks. So yeah, that's how it started. He's like, "Here you are, man. Go take the hot seat." So I did. I went and I played the songs, and people were quite impressed. Everyone was clapping. Everyone was happy. My first time, and then yeah, that's it. So I started.
So one of the most interesting things to me is because I was the same way, when I was around
True.
10, 11 years, I started sitting by the musicians, and that's how I got my first bass because my mom used to see me sitting by the musicians all the time, just looking at the
Hmm.
musicians and staring at the band. And just looking back, it makes me wonder what was that thing inside of us that made us so interested, and so
I don't
so
know. I don't know.
captivated.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. Everything, just the drums, just caught my attention, and I think it was the easiest instrument at the moment. At the time, it was just the easiest instrument to just grab and just pick up, and yeah. So I just grabbed it pretty quick.
All right.
Yeah.
So saying that now, a lot of people start playing and, you always hear stories. People tell you, yeah, man, I started playing the drums, but I just stopped. What do you think was the thing that kept you playing after you started?
I kept playing because of the love and passion that I had for music, and especially drums. That's what kept me going and going because I really, really loved it. I was like in love with a lot of words, but I am in love with the drums. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right. So
That's
so
my
you'd
side
say
chick, right?
so you'd say even on like, the toughest days, on a day where you feel like giving up, the passion that you have for it and the love that you have for the drums is what really keeps you going. right?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I think you have to love it to be able to do it, or stay motivated. You have to have that love, that
Right.
desire. Yeah.
All right. So the next thing is like, what was the moment, or what was the time you could say when you just sat down and said, you know what, this is going to be my profession. I want to do this as my livelihood, as my career.
I'll be honest. I joined the cruise ship and I joined a band on the cruise ship. Um, and I didn't know many genres. I didn't know different styles of music. All I knew literally was just reggae and soca, and probably one two ballads. That's literally all I knew. But then, because of the variety and the demand, and like you need a certain level and criteria to meet out there and expectations as well. Um, I had to spend time to practice. I practice a lot. I learned new material each day. I spent like months just in my zone, just learning, practicing, watching, learning, practicing, and that was just a routine for me until I was pretty comfortable that I could just move on.
Yeah.
And that's it right there.
So, of course, a lot of people listening probably wondering, like, what music I was doing to practice? Like, what was the practice regimen? Like, what were the things you were doing when you were practicing?
Um, at that time, I didn't know too much about like theory, like rudiments.
Hmm.
I knew like the basic stuff. I knew like the basic stuff. So literally, I would be practicing or learning songs. I didn't know much about chops as yet. So yeah, so I was just like I would just be learning songs for the show and not like chops or rudiments at that moment. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
So when you say practicing, when I was in school, I one of my roommates was a drummer, and before rehearsals, he'd be practicing, but he'd really just have two pens in his hand or two pencils in his hand, and just
Yeah, yeah.
listening to the songs and just practicing. He could even practice fills that way.
True, true,
So,
yeah.
and I know as a drummer, that's one thing y'all struggle with, is just finding a place to practice, because drums can be loud.
Very
So
loud, yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, how did you deal with that? Finding a place to.
Well, at that time, I was very, very fortunate to be able to have a drum kit to be able to practice on. I
Mhm.
actually had a pad as well to practice on, and I had other drummers I used to seek for advice and help, and they taught me a lot. And I learned a lot from other drummers, to be honest. Um, from their experience, they taught me a lot. I learned a lot from them, and yeah, that's where it brought me to.
Yeah, so you learned, like, who are some of the people that you learned from? You say you had some drummers
Um,
helping you out.
it's just it's just a few guys I met on the cruise lines I was working with. Don't remember the names right now, but a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
of
yeah.
them.
All right. You have any drummers in the industry that you could say you look up to, or your style of play and it's kind of like them or influenced by them?
There are a few. There are a few. There are a few. There are a few. I wouldn't compare my style of playing to them, but just there are a lot of great guys. Great guys out there.
No, one thing I'm always curious about, because I've never had the cruise musician experience. So I wonder,
Hmm.
some of, like, well, what would you say is like the craziest story you have from your time playing on the ship so far?
I think the craziest story for me as a drummer or musician playing on a cruise ship is, I would say, don't expect too much. Like sometimes you're thinking, oh, like you're a professional and you expect to have the top gear, and especially in the profession you are, when you have some top gears, it's very nice to have good
Right, right.
equipment, good gears and stuff. But yeah, don't expect too much. Don't expect too much from that. You have like messed up amplifiers, you have messed up speakers, playing on kits very rusty and sounds like an empty bucket. and and the next worst thing is that to have a horrible sound engineer. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
but you
all of
have
us
to
know
the
about
job.
that.
The show must go on. So that's my experience right there. Yeah, but the worst would be the horrible engineer because these guys come in and all they can do is just connect a microphone, just plug it from the mixing board to the snake or to the stage. That's all they can probably do. But yet still there's still the sound guys making sure that the band is performing live and yeah, but they're not sure what that's the crazy one.
All right. And I've had in my lifetime, I think there's only been one time where there's really a sound engineer that just really had our back as a band, you know, and we were very comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
So normally, and I really don't understand why it's so difficult to find really good sound engineers, you know. But
There
one of
are,
the
there are a few, but in this kind of industry, like to them it's not important. And people probably lie on their resumes as well just to get a job. So all that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff, man.
fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's right.
right, one serious question I had for you is, right now, um, for any young musician coming up in a lot of the Caribbean islands, I know for sure in Saint Lucia, one of the main places they tell a young musician that he or she could play is at hotel gigs or the
Mhm.
ship, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How you think we could shift the culture to have a greater appreciation for live music and to book more live bands?
Um, I'll be honest with you. I believe everyone is responsible for his or her success or career in this music industry. All right. First of all, if you have a product and your product is good, if you're different, you will be recognized. You will be seen. You see, most times you find musicians doing the same stuff over the same songs, the same style, the same whatever, and it's just for the hotels.
All right.
But if you go out your comfort zone, out the box, and you probably, for instance, like you would hardly find like a country band. You would hardly find like green a folk grass bluegrass band
Yeah.
like in Saint Lucia, like for instance. You would probably find you would find a reggae band, you would find a soca band, and like a cover band doing like a few stuff, but you will not find the unique stuff too often. So I believe if we're different, we just will be seen,
Yeah.
and people like new things. There is a market, there is a place, there's lots of music, there's lots of money to go around it, there's lots of jobs, there's lots of fans, and you will be seen, you will be known, and people will look out for you. But you personally have to push yourself and push your product, market yourself, market your product, so that you can get to where you want to with that product.
All right. So basically, you're saying
Yeah.
that people should basically push their own boundaries and challenge themselves to think outside of the box, to basically create your own
Yeah,
path.
pretty much.
No, I think that makes a lot
Yeah,
of
pretty
sense.
much. Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
I think people respect quality when they see it. Um, and
People do respect quality. People like nice things.
All right. So even if at first they don't expect you to play at a certain level, or they don't expect you to come forward with
Hmm.
a great product, when you do come forward with it, now they have to respect it, right? You know what I mean? You follow my train?
Exactly. Now look at the great example of the dinner segment in Saint Lucia. Look at
Mm-hmm.
how it's just taking flight globally. It's something the world never experienced. The world don't even know what the heck that stuff is. But now it came from St. Lucia and
Yeah.
it's just hitting worldwide. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So if the dairy segment can hit worldwide, something unique, some other style, some other music from our music can hit the island as well too. You know, some other different band can hit the island because we have the festivals, we have there's places they have you can play wherever you want to, in a bar, at a club, you can play outside the mall. St. Lucia, you don't find musicians doing this kind of stuff in St. Lucia that
Right.
much. You see, like you go to a mall and you find a band just at the mall jamming or at a nice place or at the park. You don't have this kind of stuff in St. Lucia. Only on special occasions, you know. So
Yeah,
these kind
man.
of things that should be implementing, like a Sunday at the park, this band is playing. You know, that band is playing.
Yeah,
This
and
band is doing at this club. At this club every Wednesday or every other whatever that time, that band is playing. Now there's something that's going on in the South that is starting to become very, very famous and very big now. Is that it's called a musicians jam, where all the musicians from the South come together and they jam, and it's
really,
been very successful
I
and
never
it's
heard
very
about
nice.
that until right
Yeah,
now.
it's always happening in the South.
When did that start?
Yeah,
The
there's
musicians jam.
it's been there for a while. It's been there for a while now. Yeah, but probably like it happens like every last Friday of the month there, but
All
like
right.
once a month. But it happens in the South at Clear Sky, where all the musicians come together. They had one actually last night in St. Lucia in the South, and it was a great success. You know, the
Oh,
guys got together and jam. You meet different people, different. You know, it's really really great time. Really great time. Lots of talent. Lots of talent.
and you say this is at Clear Sky?
Yeah.
All right.
Clear
So
Sky. Yeah. Clear Sky.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's say somebody listening to this right now wanted to visit that. Who would they talk to? Where can they get information to catch the next one?
The Clear Sky Hotel downstairs. The Clear Sky Hotel. It's opposite. It's in Beanfield, Viewfort. It's opposite the Uptown Liquor Store.
Mm.
Downstairs behind Centesh Auto Parts in Viewfort.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the last day of every month, or like how regular is
I'm
it?
not sure to be honest. I'm not sure to be honest when it's actually happening, when it's the exact date. But usually they would send out like invitations and WhatsApp messages and you know to
All
to
right.
to the frequent guys. Yeah.
Okay, well, the next time you hear about one, just shoot me a message, and I'll share that on the Lucian Musicians platform,
Sure. Sure.
because I know
Sure. No
a lot
problem.
of guys would
Sure. Yeah.
want to go jam in that, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, man. So
Let's move on.
I know you don't have a lot of time, so I just have two more things.
Yeah.
Very
No
quickly,
problem.
what advice would you give a young musician? You already said that it's good to push your own boundaries and to keep challenging yourself and to keep trying to get better. But what other advice would you
The
share?
advice I would give to young musicians out there, I would definitely share that with them. Do not, and I quote again, do not get swell-headed or cocky, believing you're the top cut. Everyone is different, and everyone has something to offer in the industry with their skill and their talent.
Right.
All right, it doesn't. You're not. No one is a superstar. No matter who the best or the great you think is in the world, there's still not, because music, there's there is no limit to music. You can go beyond. You can go beyond and beyond. You can go on and on. You understand?
All right.
All the great guys, whatever, they still have so much to learn. They still have so much to learn. And the music is just, you never stop learning with music. You never stop learning. There's so much. So don't feel because you can play a couple of licks and a couple of runs and a couple of chops to think like you're the top cat. No, you're probably not. But just humble yourself, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's definitely something that I see on the Lucian Musicians platform every day. I'm so amazed
Mhm.
by how many great musicians are in the Caribbean diaspora. How many people that are so
That's
talented.
very true, very true, very true.
And
Yeah.
that's a big reason why Lucian musicians exist. And
Mhm.
I'm really happy about that. And this is a lot of fun for me.
Mhm.
I have one more question. You have time for one more, or you have to go?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
So I was listening to a podcast. Sometimes I listen to these podcasts, and this lady was saying that singing is a gift, but musicianship is a skill, because you had to learn to play an instrument, but somebody can be born with the gift of singing. You agree with that?
I actually do agree. I do agree. I do agree. Musicianship is really a skill to me. In my opinion, you have to practice it. You have to learn it to start it. You have to understand it.
Right.
Not every musician has good musicianship. That's totally different. You understand? And I think it's all about respect, appreciation, helping, pretty much gratitude, man. So that's what I'm saying. Musicianship is pretty much a skill to me, in my opinion. Yeah.
All right, I agree. I think I agree with you, because I think part of what you're saying there is that yes, you can be a musician just by learning the skill, but there is a certain level.
Everyone,
Yeah,
every musician can be an amazing musician, but they may not have good musicianship skills.
right.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's something that you have to learn, you have to know, you have to accept, you have to practice. You
right.
know?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I know the Lucian musicians listeners would not forgive me if I didn't ask you about singing and playing drums. I can understand how it's
Well,
possible to sing and play
I'll be honest
drums.
with you. I'll be honest with you. How that started. I was hired as the drummer for the band. Just the drum. I was only playing drums
Yeah,
until when a few of the singers in the band left the band. So we have like songs that's just been there that no one is singing.
right.
So I knew I could sing. I love singing, but I never really like practice or put it out and whatever. So um, I started with one song. One song, pretty much I'll do the easy one, the easiest ones. Um, yeah, to be honest, I still struggle with it. I still struggle. Um, I think it's a memory muscle. I think it's just practicing again too. It's not easy, but for me, I would focus a lot on the singing more than the drumming, because I would
Okay.
just play like the simple beat,
All
but the
right.
singing I have to execute the singing like really top, because people listen more to your voice, you know.
All right.
So I would just play like basic and just lock it down, and then just put the vocals, like put the vocals like with power, over it. It's not the easiest thing. Obviously, with practice, doing it over and over, you'll get better. But I started with one song, then I did two, then I did three, then I did four, and right now I'm pretty much like up to like 400 now. 400 now, like in let me see, like in 7 years now, like so I'm like, yeah, it's been like 7 years in that industry now,
Oh, mashallah.
professionally. So my repertoire is pretty big when it comes to singing and playing. Over 400 songs, close to
Wow.
500 or more. Which I sing and play, and it's not the easiest. Like I said, I still struggle a lot, because there are certain songs that I don't even like attempt trying to sing it and play it, because it's so challenging,
All right.
And singing and playing, to be honest, it's a gift. Singing and playing is a gift. It's not the easiest thing that any musician could just do. You know, we
Yeah,
probably
man.
we probably have the gift. We probably have the gift to sing, or the talent to sing, or we know how to sing. But to just pick up singing like that is not something you can just like wake up and just go to any store and just get like that. No, you can probably wake up in the morning and just go to a store and buy an instrument. But the singing part is just totally different. Um, I have some good experience about it. I learned a lot as well too from other singers. I learned a lot, like my singing. I learned a lot. I've improved a lot from meeting different people, various people,
Of course.
professionals like me. They taught me a lot. I love picking up from people that I believe that know more than me, or that's better off than me.
Right.
I like looking at. I like picking up. I like learning new things. I like picking up something from them. For instance, like vocal runs, vocal riffs, warm ups. I pretty much like learn this stuff from people, and I like to watch. I would say my school right now would be YouTube. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos to help myself and advance myself.
Right.
I've never been to any school of music. I have no theory. I have no theory. My experience is just all by a self-taught musician.
Yeah, and
And
that's the
right
same
now,
for
my
me.
schooling is YouTube. I haven't been practicing and learning like drums stuff too much lately because I concentrate a lot on singing now.
Okay.
Um,
And why you think
yes, I
that is?
haven't.
You like singing more, or like why is that?
Um, I believe like I believe singing has become one of my favorite things now because I love it. I love singing. So, and I get a lot of recognition for the singing as well. So
Okay.
I think I focus a lot on the singing. Yeah.
Again, bring back love.
So that's basically, man.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep you too long. This has been the second episode of the Green Room.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give people the details
Mm-hmm.
later on when I'm done editing and whatnot. But very quickly, can you tell people where they can find you if they
Yeah, no
want to
problem,
follow
man.
you in your Instagram
You
handle or
can find me
anything?
on yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Shorn underscore 758 Mafia on Instagram. Shorn Biscette on Facebook. You can find me on these platforms as well. And yeah, send me a message.
All right. Well, big
Yeah,
up
say
yourself.
hello. Yes, sir. One love, man. Give thanks. Thank you for having me, bro, in the green room. All right.
Yeah, man. You know already.
Thank
Uh,
you very
Thanks for listening, everybody. Sean's information will be posted along with this episode. I'm so excited for all the future conversations we will be having together. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, like on Facebook. All of those links can be accessed from the website www.lucianmusicians.com. You can expect an episode of The Green Room every month. See y'all later.